I actually don't want to leave. And I definitely understand a lot of people when we first came back to Chicago, when we first moved back, the question we got the most often, we would be in Walmart all over the city, and they'd be like, oh, because, we talk to people. They'd be like, well, where'd you come from? We're like, oh, we just moved back from Dallas. And they would say, what? Why would you do that? And to be honest, having people respond with such horror at the fact that I moved back from Dallas to Chicago was very off putting. But then when I would explain to people why and our reason for why we moved back because our entire family lives here. I am born and raised in Chicago. I was born in East St. Louis, went to school in Belleville, Illinois. My entire family lives in the St. Clair County. And then my husband is a Chicago native. His entire family lives in Chicago. This is where my kids' entire family, all of their loved ones, cousins, aunties, uncles, this is where they all live. So I can't move from here. We left for 4 years, and to be honest, as our kids got older, they started to become more and more homesick because they wanted to be with their cousins and they wanted to be with their grandmother. That does not mean that the quality of life here, though, always makes up for the fact that or counteracts or balances out, with the fact that we're here with family. Being here with family does dull some of the aches and pains that Chicago causes, but that is why I'm also dedicated to making sure that I stand up for Chicagoans and I want to be a wake-up call that something is in fact wrong. When you look at data and see that 85 to 90% of kids on the South and West Side cannot read, yet you have a black CTU president, Chicago Teacher Union president, and you have a black mayor, a progressive extremist mayor, and a bunch of black people all throughout his staff, and a bunch of black people constantly with their mouth open telling you that it's racist if you ever consider voting anything but Democrat. I take it a little bit personal because I don't want to see black people getting pimped out for their vote. And then they forget about you as soon as that election is over. See, they're about to be all up in you all's face real quick because Democrats have to keep a stronghold on this city. But I declare that stronghold will be loosed because Chicago deserves to be loosed. The black people in this city deserve to be freed and to not be exploited for their vote anymore. I'm fed up for you. And I won't be used for my vote. I am the 8%. And I know that makes a lot of people upset. But when I tell you that if you look into the history of the Democratic Party, you would question immediately why you've been aligned with it for so long. And then if somebody starts to tell you, oh, there was a big switch, go ahead and look at the current stats of what your life looks like in Chicago, and you'll realize that it looks just the same as what they wanted for you a long time ago. You'll see that you're being killed in your communities because of crime. They let crime run rampant so you can self-eliminate. You'll see that they put Planned Parenthoods